Hello friends. So in this video we are going to take a look at Studio and how to work with GitHub Repo and ServiceNow Studio. So in my instance I have a scoped application created uh, which is basically from ServiceNow, a social media management scoped application. If I go to my Studio, I do have this social media management scoped application listed here. When I click on social media management, I could see that this particular scoped application is not linked to any source control. I could check that from looking at this bottom right hand corner. It says not linked to source control, or else you could go to source control, click on link to source control. You see that this is blank. There is no repo configurations here for the scope tab. So we will take a look at configuring credentials, configuring creating a repo, and how do we link the scope tab to the repo. The first step is going to credentials, click on credentials, click on new, and select basic auth credentials, right? And once you do that, you create your GitHub login username and password here. I've already created the GitHub credentials. I've added my credentials here. Now, let me go back to Studio. And how do I link to the source control? Link to source control here, I need one of the parameter which I need as a URL to the repo. So in order to get that, I'll go to my GitHub repo, GitHub, and I'll create a repo for this scoped application. I'll call it as social media, right? And then click on create repository. You can come to this by logging in. Once you log in, you can click on new repository from the top toolbars here on the top right hand corner. Click on create repository. You'll have a default branch created for this. So I'll go to the repo. I could use this SSH or HTTPS here, right? I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy the URL from here, or else let me go back to the main screen, right? Let me go back here. Now I go back, I click on my repositories created, and I do have this. So there is no branches, default branches created. I think there should be a default branch, which is going to be, let's do one thing. Let's go and create link to this particular repo. Let me choose master, right? And let me select the credentials which I have added in the previous step. GitHub now tech talk, and I'm going to link this scoped application to this particular repository. Now linking to the master branch on the GitHub is completed. Once it is completed, you will notice that this scoped application is linked to the master repo. Let me reload this. You see it on the bottom right hand corner. You see that it is linked to the master repo. It shows the repo name and or the branch name. And you can also edit the repo configurations by clicking on edit repository configurations. see that this is linked to master, and this is the GitHub, the repo URL. Now let's go to the repo and take a look at what is there inside it. To now TikTok social media, and you see that the master branch is there, and there is one commit which has happened. And if I look inside the master branch, which is a default branch, I see this folder. If I click on it, I have different subfolders inside it. And if I click on the update folder, I'll see all the objects which is created for the scoped application is available here, right? Now, assume that you're working on a particular feature for this scoped application, and you don't want to work on the master branch. You want to create a branch from the master. How do you do it from the studio? So you come here to the source control, you click on create branch from here. So I'll say social media. So now TikTok. You don't doesn't have to be this long. You can just keep it short. Usually what I do is, if I'm working on a particular user story or few user stories, then I would create a branch from the master, and I'll name it accordingly, the branch name. I'll give a proper branch name. So for the time being, I'm just naming it as social media now TikTok branch. Create branch. The branch creation is successful. Now you notice that on the studio, the now the app is linked to the social media now TikTok branch, right? And if I go to my edit repo configurations, I'll see that it is now linked to this social media now TikTok branch. And you go to your repo, you should have one more branch. You should have two branches created under the social media repo. And you click on two branches, the second branch, and you see that social media now TikTok branch is available, and it will have all the commits of all the objects from the scope app committed here, right? You will see all the same set of objects available here. Now, you could also switch back to the master branch by doing this. When you switch branch, right, you have an option to switch back to the master branch from here. Now, let's make some changes and do a commit to this new branch which we have created. For that, let me go to my flow designer here. On the social media scope tab, we have a flow designer component. Now we need to select the social media related flow and open this up. We could go and create something custom from here by doing a custom action. Create a flow or subflow or an action. I've just created one with some dummy values. To create custom action, I've created a custom action. And let me open this. We have this monitor record, monitor underscore record, reference.monitor. Let me make this mandatory, and then let me add a script step. So for the time being, I'll just say gs dot debug custom action step. I would say say output starts some variable, some underscore is called here the custom action. That's it. Now let me put some create an output. String, say, right? I have saved this custom action now. Now let's go back to the studio and look at if we have any changes to be committed available, right? So go to your source control menu on the top. Now click on commit changes, and you see that under this particular user, you see this custom action, right? Custom action, which I have created or modified. That object is listed. So assume if under your name or under your update set, if you have multiple objects and you don't want this custom action to go into the update to the repo, you could just go and uncheck that and check the rest of the objects and then commit. So while talking about this update sets, right, let's go back and let me show you. Once you link a scoped application to a repo, right, once you go back, you open up your developer here, social media management default, and let me reload this page, right? Once you notice that the default update set is under my name, which is says now tech talk admin. If I go to my update set, you see this is the update set, this is in progress, and there is uh, there is one custom there is one object which is updated under this update set. Now let's assume that there is one more developer who's working out of your branch, right? Let me go back to impersonate another able tutor. I've granted him the admin privileges. Let's say reload. I would expect it to create another update set under able tutor's name, right? So if I go here, let me go back and just for the sake of it, let me just say complete, right? And let me save it. Now you see that the update set, the default update set is now able tutor, which is the logged in user's name. So if I click on the current view current update set, I would see an update set created under able tutor login. So this happens whenever a scoped application or the scope which you are working on is linked to a repo. That is something which I wanted to show you guys. So let me go back to my update sets, uh, local update sets. Let me take this. Let me put it back to in progress update, right? And then let me end impersonation. I should have my update set back. If not, let me select it. Okay, now going back to my repo, commit changes. Okay, now TikTok admin, I click on continue. I can commit this particular custom action object into my repo. Assume if I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. I don't want any of these changes to go into my repo. What is the option? So you have an option called stash local changes. Okay, so here this custom action, I don't want this change, this particular object to go into my branch. So I can just stash this changes locally so that this will not go into my repo. So, but in this case, I'm going to commit. Let me select this, click on continue, commit this branch, commit files. I have successfully committed the changes into the branch. So you don't see any more changes to be committed, right? So what you do is you go to your social media repo, you open up your branch, and you see that there is a notification on your branch saying that had recent pushes less than a minute ago, and there is an update which has happened. Now, what is your next step? How do you merge this change into your master branch, right? This today ServiceNow doesn't provide any such functionalities, so you have to do it from your GitHub login or your local console, right? So let me go and compare and do a pull request, right? The basis master, and this is going to be this one. Okay, then it says there is no conflict. I'm good to merge, right? But usually there could be a lot of issues when a lot of developers are working from the master branch or from the main branch, base branch. Then you will see conflicts which you have to resolve in order to do a successful merge to the master from your child branches, right? So let me go and merge this changes to the master branch. All right, so now I'm able to merge the changes. I'll say this branch has no conflicts with the base branch. Otherwise, it will list out the conflicts. So you just go and merge the pull request. Confirm merge, right? So commit changes to the merging is successful to the base branch. So you get this message here on your GitHub login that now TechTalk merged one commit into master from this particular branch. So we are good there. Now let's go back to our console here. Let me reload. Right. So still we are connected to the social media now TechTalk branch. So assume that you have this repo configuration which is configured, right? How do you change it? You don't have an option to change it. If somebody comes back and tells you that, okay, don't use this particular repo, you need to use this is a Teams repo which you have to use it, right? So how do you make such change? There is no way from here we could edit or delink the scoped application from this repo which is created. So what is the best way of doing it? Which I struggled initially to do it, and there are a lot of things which I did when I was working on such projects. So what I have found out is that you go to your repo related tables, right, and you have this sysrepo config uh, record where you get to see the repo configurations which you have made for your social media management or your scoped application. You open that up, just go and delete it. That's what I have done. So you have this two branches. It doesn't do any kind of deletion, cascade deletions from your GitHub. It just deletes it from your local instance configurations, repo configuration. So I'm going to just go and delete it. I clicked on delete. I'm waiting. Okay, I got this. Okay, let me delete this. All right, perfect. So now let's go and go back to our studio, reload. Now, once I reloaded the studio, I see that it is delinked. There is no more further repo configurations. This scope tab is not tied to any repos. If I come here, I don't see it. Link to source control. Now, if another team is giving me any new repo, then I could just link it from here. The same steps, what we did from the beginning, we follow again and link to that particular source control. Start committing your changes. So I always commit my changes at the end of the day before I uh, call off my day. I just go and commit my changes to the repo. That's what I'm doing. But in case if there are too many developers working out of the same branch and you are not creating a different branch for working on a user story, then you just make sure that you commit your changes frequently. So that is it. I have documented all the steps in my blog site here, now Tech Talk blog. So you could go here, ServiceNow, you could just see all the configurations, all the things which I have mentioned here, as well as other code bits you would find here, right? So please follow my blog and my channel. Thank you very much.